today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm, and as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in on this absolutely gorgeous Wednesday afternoon. This is a Wellness Wednesday, and we're going to be talking about your health and wellness today, and specifically, we're going to be talking about the role of the liver, that we take care of this very important organ. As you can see, I'm coming to you from home today, but that doesn't mean that you guys can't be engaged in the show. And so, as always, here's how you can become a part. The numbers to call are 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272, and the WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. We are streaming live on Facebook, on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. You can also check us out on YouTube on our official channels. And we are coming to you live on Cable Bahamas, channel 974. Alternatively, you can download the Global 99.5 FM app or listen by way of radio, 99.5 FM on your radio dial. Or you can also tune in from Grand Bahama. And a huge welcome to all of you, especially our audience in Grand Bahama. So we're talking about the liver today. The liver is a very, very important organ in your body. It is the largest organ in the human body, and it performs over 500 functions. Can you imagine? 500 functions are performed by your liver, including the digestion of proteins, mineral storage, bile production, and blood filtration. The liver is almost 3 pounds, the weight of a football, and can be found in the upper right abdomen below the diaphragm. Okay, so that's where your liver is located. And there are many disorders of the liver, including liver disease, hepatitis, liver cancer, and cirrhosis. And the liver, the disease of the liver has many causes, many of them to do with what you are putting into the body, some of them autoimmune responses, some of them infections. We're going to learn about all of that today. We're going to learn about signs and symptoms of liver disease. We're going to learn about how you can protect your liver with the right nutrients. We're going to learn about what you can do if, in fact, you are battling liver disease and some of the natural ways that you can deal with this problem. Because you need to understand that your liver is a very, very important part of your overall health and wellness. So if your liver is not functioning well, you're going to have some serious issues. And we want to get you to the point where if you are dealing with any type of liver disorder or liver disease, that you deal with that before it becomes a problem that you can no longer deal with, before you get to the point of no return. That's our goal. With the high level of consumption of alcoholic beverages in our country, we have a lot of people walking around with fatty liver, some cirrhosis of the liver because of the alcohol consumption. And the danger is a lot of them don't even know that they have this problem. And by the time they realize that they have a problem, it is often so late in the game that their prognosis is not very good. So we're going to be focusing on this today because I think people need to realize how serious this is and do what you need to do before it becomes a real, life-threatening problem. So first and foremost, let's talk about the functions of the liver. Like I said earlier, there are over 500 functions of the liver, and all of our clips today are going to come from, you guessed it, Dr. Berg. And in this clip, he's going to talk about the functions of the liver.
It has the ability to detoxify. It makes bile. Bile is a detergent to help you break down fats and extract certain nutrients from fat. Your liver is a main producer of hormones. That's right. One being IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor number 1. Now, what is that? That is a very similar hormone to growth hormone. Growth hormone is made by your pituitary gland. It's sent to the liver. It works through the liver. And you can kind of consider IGF number 1 as an extension of growth hormone. It performs very similar functions. So it has everything to do with helping you burn fat. It's a anabolic hormone, so it helps you build muscle. It has everything to do with building proteins. And it also can help tap into your fat reserves and your stored sugar reserves for fuel. Now, your liver also makes steroid hormones, okay, like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, vitamin D3, which, by the way, acts like a hormone in the body. In fact, it probably is a hormone, but we classified it as a vitamin. And the other sex hormone is cortisol, the main anti-inflammatory hormone in the body, the main hormone that helps you adapt to stress. So without cortisol, your body can't adapt to stress, and you're going to get really stressed out. In fact, 80% of the cortisol floating through your bloodstream originates from your liver. So all these steroid hormones come from this one thing, cholesterol. And so the liver is part of the building block of not just cholesterol, but a real key part in the creation of those hormones. And what's interesting is that people take certain drugs to block cholesterol, like statins. Well, guess what's going to happen to these hormones? You're not going to be able to make them efficiently. You're going to have all sorts of issues. And your liver makes a good portion of the cholesterol in your body. And take a wild guess what material it makes cholesterol from. If you guess dietary sugars, you are correct. So cholesterol is made from carbs. And cholesterol also makes certain proteins that transport things in the body, like cholesterol, like estrogen, like testosterone, different hormones. Because these hormones made from cholesterol can't travel that well through the blood, your liver packages them in proteins so they can be transported. So your liver has a post office function in that it is able to package certain things and send them throughout the body. Now, these proteins just don't transport certain things. They also buffer or regulate certain hormones. So if there's too much estrogen, for example, or too much cortisol, your liver will buffer that with these proteins to make sure that things are in balance. All right, so those are just some of the many functions of the liver. Your liver actually has 500 different functions.
So let's talk about some of those functions, okay? Because I need you guys to understand why it is so important that you take care of your liver. As he said, there are 500 functions, and among the most important jobs of the liver are producing important substances. Your liver continuously produces bile. He talked about that. And this is a chemical that helps to turn fats into energy that your body uses. So bile is very necessary for the digestive process. And your liver also creates albumin, and this is a blood protein that helps to carry hormones, drugs, and fatty acids throughout your body. So your liver creates most of the substances that help your blood clot after injury. That's another very important role of the liver. The liver helps your body to get rid of, I hope I pronounce this right, bilirubin, which is a substance found in bile. And this happens from breaking down your red blood cells. Too much of this substance in the body can cause jaundice. So this is why people that have, significant or serious liver disease end up with the yellowing of the skin or the eyes. That's why you get that jaundice. It also removes waste products. So when you take in a potentially toxic substance like alcohol or certain medicines, your liver helps alter it and remove it from your body. It controls immune responses. And so when bacteria or viruses or other harmful organisms enter the body, specialized cells in your liver can find and destroy those organisms. And it also maintains glucose levels in the body. So the liver helps your body to maintain a healthy level of blood sugar, and it supplies glucose to your blood when it's needed. So it also removes glucose from the blood when there is too much. And so this is why persons who are suffering from diabetes often have problems with their liver as well. Because if the liver is not functioning well, then it has a difficult time maintaining glucose levels in the blood. So as you can see, your liver is an extremely important organ, yet we don't pay very much attention to it until we realize we have a problem. And here is the danger. You may ask me, well, Michelle, what are the symptoms of, the fact that you're having this part? There are no symptoms until you are years into the problem. I know. That's a terrifying thought, right? But one of the biggest symptoms of liver disease is there are no symptoms in your body to be able to know when you are having a challenge. Here now is Dr. Bird talking about signs and symptoms, including no symptoms.
Now I'm going to go
of liver
through
disease.
two of the signs of a fatty liver first, and then I want to explain something before I get to the third one. But the first symptom or sign of a fatty liver is there is no symptoms, there is no signs. You have virtually no indication that you have a fatty liver. Okay, that's the first one, which is kind of like not really a symptom, but it's something you should know. So many people have a fatty liver. In fact, 30% of all overweight children have a fatty liver. Okay. And 40% of the entire population have a fatty liver. And the great majority of them don't have a clue because there are no symptoms. Now, the second most common symptom or sign that you have a fatty liver is that your midsection is protruding. So normally you have a fat cell that over a period of time, if you eat too much or the wrong foods, it starts to expand, right? It gets to a point where there's a limitation of expansion. Your fat cells do not have an unlimited capacity to expand. At some point, they hit their limit. What happens next is the fat cell becomes dysfunctional. In other words, it starts to lose blood supply. It starts to become inflamed. You start developing fibrosis and scar tissue around the fat cells, and they can no longer take in fat. So where does that fat go if you maintain your lifestyle the way it's going? Well, it goes outside the fat cell. It starts to getting stored outside the fat cell. That's called ectopic fat. And I'm talking about in the muscles, not in fat cells, just around the pancreatic cells in the pancreas, around the heart cells, around your kidneys, okay? And there is a huge area that your body can dump this fat in around the organs in your abdominal cavity. You can hold 4 to 6 liters of this ectopic fat very easily in your abdomen, but that's only the start, because that abdomen can start to expand outward more and more and more to the point where you can hold more of this ectopic fat, okay? Now, the majority of fat in someone's liver is this type of fat. It's ectopic. It's not even in the fat cell. This type of fat is not a good, healthy fat. This type of fat creates insulin resistance. Now, this next thing I'm going to tell you is something I didn't really fully know and understand until very recently, okay? So this is new information. I talked about the liver being ectopic fat, but I didn't tell you where the source of that ectopic fat is really coming from in the liver. There's 3 sources. Just under 60%, it's 59% of the fat in your liver actually originates from fat outside your liver. It's from fat in other parts of your body that end up in the liver. 60%. Wow, that's crazy. So how can that happen? Well, like I said before, this fat becomes damaged. You can no longer hold fat. So you start getting a breakdown of that fat, and it starts to leach out through into the bloodstream, and it ends up in the liver, okay? So a lot of the fat that you have in your liver is come from other places in your body, which is interesting. So that's 59%. 26% of the fat in the liver actually comes from your liver making its own fat from glucose. And so there's a process called gluconeogenesis. That is the production of new sugar. This has nothing to do with eating sugar. It just has to do with your liver making sugar from non-carbohydrate sources. Now, insulin is supposed to inhibit or stop that process from happening. Normally, insulin's like, okay, liver, you can't make any more fat. But because of all this dysfunctional fat and the insulin resistance, now you have a deficiency of insulin in the cells. That's causing this uncontrolled gluconeogenesis in the liver. So your liver is just making tons and tons of sugar. And this happens in diabetes, prediabetes, in insulin resistance. And you'll see like diabetics will wake up in the morning with the dawn phenomena where all of a sudden they have high sugar, but sometimes if they're on the ketogenic diet, they're not eating any sugar. Where is that sugar coming from? It's coming from the liver making all this sugar because of all this dysfunctional fat and the insulin resistance, okay? Because there's an insufficient amount of insulin there to suppress this process from happening. But of course, in the blood, you have this massive amount of insulin. But in cells, you have a deficiency of insulin. So we have this severe imbalance.
I know you guys are saying insulin resistance again. Yeah, insulin resistance is such an important component when it comes to development of all kinds of diseases and systems of the body going wrong. So you're going to be hearing quite a bit about insulin resistance in the show yet again, and you will learn yet again that it impacts another important organ of the body, namely the liver. So it's really important that we get blood sugar levels under control. Okay. Now, there are different types of liver disease, which include alcohol liver disease. Alcohol liver disease is a result of alcohol abuse. So, you get a lot of people, young, old, or in between, who think they're having fun. I'm going to drink with the boys. And if you continuously do that unabated, the next thing that you know, you're waking up with a fatty liver. So a lot of young people are facing this because they think, oh, I'm just going off a couple of drinks with the girls, a couple of drinks with the boys, not realizing the damage that they're doing to their body by consistently consuming alcohol. So a large percentage of persons drinking alcohol do not develop liver disease as a result. However, those who continue to consume alcohol excessively may cause injury to their liver. So you're having fun, and then you wake up one day and your doctor tells you you have a fatty liver. And the fatty liver is just one step ahead of cirrhosis of the liver if you don't stop. That's not a road you want to go down. Next, you have cholestasis. This happens when the flow of bile from your liver is limited or blocked. And this can be caused by certain drugs. Even pregnancy can cause this. And it can also happen from blockage caused by a tumor or a gallstone stuck in the body's digestive system. The next type of liver disease is cirrhosis. Now, if you have cirrhosis of the liver, man, you're in bad shape. This is a hardening of your liver due to scar tissue. All right. And heavy alcohol use and viruses like hepatitis are common causes of cirrhosis. Diabetes, immune problems can also cause cirrhosis of the liver. Okay. Next, you have hepatitis. And hepatitis is the name for any condition involving inflammation of your liver. And there are many types, including the type of hepatitis caused by excessive alcohol use, drugs, or toxins can cause hepatitis. And hepatitis can lead to liver failure, liver cancer, and other life-threatening conditions. And last but not least, you have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And this happens when there are fat deposits in the liver, and the deposits may prevent your liver from functioning properly and removing toxins from the body. So you don't want to get to the point where you develop scarring of the liver because of an ongoing problem with fatty liver and end up with cirrhosis. Trust me, you don't want to go down that road. And so we need to pay close attention to what you're putting in the body, including how much sugar you're consuming, making sure that your blood sugar levels are good and healthy. You want to be sure that you're not consuming too much alcohol, and you want to be sure that you are, as much as possible, staying free of certain toxins and certain medications that can damage the liver. And for the record, this doesn't just happen to older or middle-aged people. You could have a child that ends up with liver disease for whatever reason. So you want to be paying close attention, especially to your child. If all of a sudden their eyes turn yellow or their skin starts turning yellow, rush that child to see a doctor, because that's a clear sign that their liver is in serious problems. Okay? Now, the next thing is you want to understand more about the signs of a fatty liver or a diseased liver, including the role of insulin resistance. So we're going to learn a bit more about that, but let's take this first break. And then on the other side of the break, we're going to continue to talk about how to maintain a healthy liver, how to prevent liver disease, and more importantly, how to heal yourself if you already have it. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Youngevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rim fix and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Glasses love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun. And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company on this Wellness Wednesday. We're talking about liver health today. Liver, one of the most important organs in the body. So, we are streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM Facebook pages. You can also check us out on YouTube. And you can also call in 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line for messages or calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. We are welcoming you to like and share the show. You can also check us out on Cable Bahamas, Channel 974, or the Global 99.5 FM app. And of course, by radio, 99.5 on the FM dial here in New Providence. And you can also listen to us in Grand Bahama by radio. And a huge welcome to all of you, whether you're tuning in from New Providence or Grand Bahama, or watching anywhere from anywhere in the world on Facebook or YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So on this Wellness Wednesday, once again, we're talking about the health of your liver health, how to identify if you have a problem, how to prevent having a problem, what to do in the event that you do have liver disease. These are the things that we're going to be covering on today's show. So let's now look a little more closely at symptoms of or signs of liver disease, including the role of insulin resistance. More so about that.
And the third source of actual fat comes from dietary fat, but that's because you're also consuming sugar at the same time. How can I make this even more simple? Well, when you consume a diet that's very high in fructose or glucose or refined carbohydrates that turn into glucose, you're going to create a situation where the fat cells get overwhelmed and they get to a point where they can't take in any more fat. It's going to spill off into around the organs, in your liver, in your abdominal cavity. You're going to develop insulin resistance. But if you check your blood sugar, it'll be normal for a while, okay, because everything is compensating. But if you check the insulin, it'll be screaming high, but doctors don't check the insulin. But if you check the blood sugars, it'll be normal for a while, for about 10 to 15 years. And then the little cells of the pancreas are just exhausted. Now they can't make enough insulin, and now we get a much lowered amount of insulin. There's nothing to buffer these blood sugars, so now the blood sugar starts going higher and higher and higher, and you have what's called diabetes, okay? And they always say a fatty liver is associated with, diabetes and metabolic syndrome and high blood pressure, but I think now you can really see the source and what's really cause and what's the effect of this, right? We have the diet that is too darn high in carbs that is actually creating this insulin resistance, and it's damaging the fat cell, and it's a self-defeating circle and cycle, and one thing worsens another and the whole thing gets out of control. But at the very heart of this problem is the person's consuming too many carbohydrates. Now, how do we know that is at the source of it? Well, very simply, if you get someone on a low carb diet, okay, what's going to happen is you start correcting all of this. You start getting rid of the fat off the liver very quickly. Within 2 weeks, you can drop 50% of that fat off the liver if you do the ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting. So dropping the carbs is going to be very, very, very important. Now remember, the liver is the only cell that can completely 100% regenerate. It takes a beating, it can rejuvenate, but there is a point of limitation. If you have too much scar tissue in there, then there's going to be a limitation of how much you can get back. But realize that we have the dietary sugar that's creating a lot of problems, but we also have dysfunctional fat cells throughout your body that's ending up, creating fat in the liver. And we're also having the liver that's dysfunctional and it's making all this extra sugar because there's no insulin to suppress it, okay? But in your blood, you got tons of insulin. All of that can be corrected if you start to cut down the carbs. Now, you should also know that the third symptom or sign that you have a fatty liver is insulin resistance. There's quite a few additional things to know that you have insulin resistance, but the real big one is you cannot go for a long period of time without needing food. If you can go a long period of time very easily without food, then chances are your insulin resistance is much less of a problem, okay? And you will see as you start to lower your carbs and you start to fast, it becomes easier and easier and easier. That is one of the best indications that you are correcting insulin resistance, okay? So one way to know if you still have insulin resistance is, can you fast for a long period of time? But also if you can wake up in the morning without having high blood glucose. All right, so cravings, can't go very long without needing food. Fatigue, I already mentioned that. Frequent urination at night, okay? If you have to get up at night to urinate, chances are you have insulin resistance. And if you fix insulin resistance, you can fix this frequent urination problem. Also, feeling tired after lunch is a common symptom. Once you fix this, your energy will improve after lunch and throughout the day, and you'll have less brain fog. Vision problems is another indication that you have insulin resistance. You may think you're just getting old and you need glasses, but chances are it could be just your blood sugar situation. So the 3 simple things that you need to do is get on the healthy version of the ketogenic diet with intermittent fasting. Okay, that's the most important thing. Number 2, start exercising. Exercise, regular, consistent exercise will improve insulin resistance very potently. And the third thing, to start consuming apple cider vinegar like 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in your water a few times a day. Apple cider vinegar could do a lot for your digestion, but it can very potently improve your blood sugars.
Okay, there are other steps that you can take to keep your liver functioning well and reduce your risk for liver disease. That includes washing of your hands, especially after using the bathroom or touching pets and before eating. Okay? It's important to keep your hands good and clean. Limit your exposure to toxins such as cleaning supplies. Certain cleaning supplies are very, very toxic. Chemicals and tobacco products. Try to keep your cholesterol within a healthy range. If you have diabetes, keep your sugars in a normal range. Do not share needles, razors, toothbrushes, or other personal items. Don't smoke or use tobacco products. Eat healthy, well-balanced diet and maintain a healthy weight. Limit how much alcohol you drink. Be careful about using certain medicines. Always talk to your healthcare provider about the medicines you're taking, including over-the-counter products such as pain relievers, because some of them can damage your liver. And practice safe sex to reduce the risk of contracting hepatitis or other health problems. Another thing that you can do is obviously nutrition. You talked about eating healthy, but we always go beyond just eating healthy here on GPS. Because as we know by now, if you're a frequent listener or watcher of the show, you know that eating healthy is not enough in order to get you all of the nutrients that your body needs. Your liver also benefits from the right amount of micronutrition. And the better the grade, the better it will impact your liver. So I'm talking micrograde, micronutrients, plant derived, medical grade, high end stuff. If you are getting adequate nutrients into your body, this can also help you to protect yourself against liver disease.
Most people think that a fatty liver comes mainly from drinking too much alcohol, but there's a much more common disorder called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And alcohol is just one of the many causes of a fatty liver. But when we talk about nutritional deficiencies, there is one common nutrient that is nearly always deficient when you have a fatty liver. In fact, if you don't consume enough of this nutrient from your food, you will develop a fatty liver. And that nutrient is called choline, okay? Now, choline isn't technically a vitamin, but it is an essential nutrient. It lives in the family of the B vitamins because it works with certain B vitamins like B12 and folic acid. But one of its main purposes is to remove fat from your liver. And if you don't have enough choline, you will not be able to get rid of fat from your liver. Choline is also involved in brain chemistry and muscle chemistry and cell membranes. And the deficiency of choline is actually pretty common. There's even a genetic defect that is also very common with choline. It's called polymorphism. It's a common genetic problem that a lot of people have, and normal amounts of choline don't seem to fix a choline deficiency. And you need to take more choline to create the effect. And there's some other very interesting reasons why you may be deficient in choline that relate to a fatty liver. Now, if we actually go beyond some of the typical reasons why people develop a fatty liver, drinking alcohol, consuming carbs, taking corticosteroids, Tylenol, certain medications, solvents, petroleum products, viruses, consuming too many seed oils, which are high in omega-6, which create inflammation, or of course, the fructose or high fructose corn syrup. Then we get to these 4 things that cause a fatty liver: anorexia nervosa, gastric bypass, parenteral nutrition, that is nutrition fed from an IV, and antibiotics. Now, why would someone with these situations have a fatty liver? Well, with anorexia, you get severe malnutrition. So not only do you develop a choline deficiency, you also create a deficiency of vitamin D, folic acid, B12, and B3. These deficiencies also cause a fatty liver. So malnutrition causes damage to your liver, which then leads to a fatty liver. Gastric bypass, you're moving part of the stomach as well as part of the small intestine that allows you to absorb these nutrients. Okay, so you actually create nutritional deficiencies when you get a gastric bypass operation. Now, what about parenteral nutrition? Well, they only put certain nutrients in this IV, mainly synthetic, but they don't put all the vitamins that you would need to protect your liver. I mean, there's a lot of data on this. It also could be the amount of dextrose, which is a synthetic sugar that's in here that's going to create a fatty liver. But if you take that too long, you will end up with a fatty liver. Now, what about antibiotics? What's the relationship between that and choline? Well, guess what? Your microbes in your gut make some of the choline. And if you destroy the microbes, you're going to be deficient. So now the next question is, what foods are high in choline? Well, it's the foods that you may think cause a fatty liver. Egg yolks, liver, beef, chicken, as well as cruciferous vegetables, fatty salmon, almonds, which have a smaller amount. And just so you know, a high-fat diet doesn't cause fat on your liver. And if you see a study that will say that it does, read the study, and you're going to find out the mice experiments that they did within that study were not just on a high-fat diet. They were on a high-fat diet with a high carbohydrate diet. So that is just a side note. So whether you have a fatty liver caused by any of these right here, alcohol or carbohydrates or sugar, I would highly recommend to start taking choline or start consuming the foods high in choline. If you're going to take it as a supplement, I would recommend taking about 3 grams a day. That will speed up the removal of fat from your liver dramatically. However, if you also add the ketogenic diet, you can remove up to 50% of your fat within 14 days.
Okay, so a couple of things I need to point out before we go to our next break. Remember now, all supplements are not created equal. There are some supplements that you can take that are actually going to be harmful for your liver if they are formulated incorrectly. And I talk about this all the time on the show. So just because a supplement is labeled as natural, because you know a lot of them have in their name nature's this or natural whatever, it doesn't mean that it's good for you. Some of them really are misleading in that regard. And many of the herbs and some of those supplements have been associated with liver damage. So you really, really have to be careful in terms of the supplements that you're taking, because not all supplements are created equal. And you want to make sure that you're not doing damage to your body while you think you're doing something good. So make sure that if you are going to incorporate nutrition into your body, you get a high grade brand of nutrients, okay? Plant derived, that won't do more harm to your body than good. You have to be very, very careful with that. A lot of the stuff that y'all are buying over the counter is not good for you, point blank. And you don't want to make the mistake of thinking that you're doing something good for the body and actually harming your liver in the process. Be careful with toxins, people. I can't say this enough, because while the liver is responsible for cleaning toxins from the blood, overexposure to toxins can be very harmful to your liver. So make sure you're reading warning labels on chemicals that you use around the house. Wash fruits and vegetables before consumption to make sure that you're not getting toxins into the body that way. And try to use something natural when you're cleaning your fruits and vegetables. Like, for instance, clean them in vinegar. As opposed to some kind of chemical thing that you purchase in a store. Something natural like white distilled vinegar can do a very good job at cleaning your fruits and vegetables. And then if you need to just rinse them, after that, rinse them. But that's a very good way to clean, without introducing more toxins into the body. So you can buy clean fruits and greens, but learning how to clean them yourself, even if they say washed or triple washed, is important. And one good source, like I said, is white vinegar. White distilled vinegar is a very good way to clean your fruits and vegetables. Obviously, too much alcohol can lead to liver disease. We talked about that. That can cause fatty liver, hepatitis, cirrhosis, even liver cancer. So cut back, people. It's not fun when that consumption that you were doing for fun leads to fatty liver or cirrhosis of the liver. That ain't fun. That's not fun anymore. So you have to count the cost. Is it worth it? You owe it to yourself to know whether or not your excessive drinking is hurting your liver. And chances are, more chances than not, it is. So you want to be very careful of that. If you are overweight, if you have diabetes or high cholesterol, these conditions are associated with a non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which may also lead to cirrhosis and liver cancer. So again, it's not just being about big sexy, but how is that obesity impacting your overall health? So you could be putting your liver at risk if you don't deal with that. Okay? So those are some of the ways that you can naturally protect yourself against liver disease. And I want to encourage you to do just that. Take this seriously, because avoiding liver disease is extremely important. You want to be kind to your liver, because once that goes, not to say that you can't do something to bring it back, but what you have to go through, it's just cheaper you prevent it in the first place. Okay? All right. So there are ways, if you have already developed an unhealthy liver or liver disease, there are ways to deal with it. There are ways that you can address that. Now, there are a number of tests that you can have done to be sure that you're dealing with liver disease and to determine how well the liver is functioning. And your doctor will assess your symptoms and determine the best approach. And there are several ways that they can do that. They can do it through a liver function test, or a liver scan, or liver biopsy, a CT scan, an ultrasound, or an MRI scan. These can all be used to try to determine the level of disease that you may be dealing with. And depending on the severity of your disease, this is what will determine how you go about trying to treat it. Okay? There are some things, if it's not too far gone, that you can do naturally to try to reverse the problem. But if you have ongoing for years liver damage to the point where you have all this scarring, it's going to be harder to deal with. So in the healing process, there's something called autophagy. And in this clip from Dr. Berg, we're going to turn our attention now to what you can start to do if you already have developed liver disease to turn this thing around.
What are the best things to do if they have advanced liver disease? Because if you had the ability to handle the worst case scenario, then you'd be in pretty good shape. Because most people don't have the end stage liver disease. They have some type of stage that's before that. As you may already know, the liver goes through stages. It may start off in an inflamed state and then go into the fatty stage, and then cirrhotic stage, which is scar tissue. Or you can start with a fatty liver, which then produces more inflammation and then turns into cirrhosis. Now, typically, on average, it takes like 10 years to go from a fatty liver all the way into cirrhosis, right? And during that process, many times it's silent. You just one day end up with this serious problem that gave you no clues. Now, you may have some fatigue, weakness, things like that, but you may not identify or connect the dots. And I'm including in that category all the people with a fatty liver. I mean, just think about if you take a look at your toes right now and you're standing up and you can't see your toes because your belly is in the way. We know your liver is fatty because the fat around the organs in the abdominal area is a spill off from the liver being too fatty. I mean, just think about how many people actually have belly fat. I mean, it's very, very high. So this video definitely includes anyone with belly fat as well. Here's the thing. The liver is very robust. It's one of the only organs that can completely regenerate, but it does take time. It could take 3 years or longer. If you have too much scar tissue in the liver because you have cirrhosis, there is a point of no return. You have to get on the waiting list for a new liver. And unfortunately, it's a very long list. That being said, there's not a lot of studies in this area. I want to talk about what I would do if I had advanced cirrhosis of the liver and I was on the transplant list. What would I do? Okay, that's what I'm going to talk about because that's like the worst case scenario. The doctor says it's permanent. There's no chance of reversing this. Well, let's talk about it because there's actually 6 things that I want to discuss. The first thing that I would do is get my body into a state of autophagy. What is autophagy? It's the condition where your body is recycling damaged proteins in the cells. So it's a bit of recycling things you don't need or damaged parts of your body, including the liver, and then making new proteins as well. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more that autophagy does for your body. Like, for example, cancer originates in the mitochondria. You also have all the scar tissue or fibrosis in the liver where autophagy can help clean some of that up. Autophagy also can help get rid of intracellular pathogens like viruses and bacteria and yeast. So it can clean those up as well. I mean, you've heard of the condition hepatitis, right? Well, that involves a virus. So again, autophagy is very, very important in helping your liver. All right, so what can trigger autophagy? The biggest thing is fasting, okay? Regular intermittent fasting, where you're fasting on a daily basis. You're going for like 18 hours and you're eating within a 6-hour window. And then especially periodic prolonged fasting. So once a week, you fast for 48 hours. Once a month, maybe you fast for a week. Why is that so important? Because you can really create a significant dent into this problem by doing prolonged fasting if you have cirrhosis and scar tissue. And apparently you can even get autophagy while you're fasting within 4 hours because the liver is used to this action of replacing a lot of cells on a regular basis. So we have fasting, okay, intermittent and prolonged. We also have exercise. Exercise can stimulate autophagy, right? You have sleep can activate autophagy. Ketones can activate autophagy, right? That's getting on a low carb diet. That's eliminating snacking. And then we also have other types of therapy like cold therapy, taking a cold shower, sauna or infrared therapy, and also consuming more cruciferous vegetables.
All right, all really, really good tips. We're going to have more of those tips on the other side of this break. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Youngevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Youngevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support zinc, plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
And welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. It's a Wellness Wednesday, and today we're talking all about your liver. The telephone numbers to call, 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and our WhatsApp line for messages or calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. You can also check us out on our YouTube channels. Cable Bahamas Channel 974 is where you can tune in to watch us on television. And you can download the Global 99.5 FM app and check us out there. By radio, 99.5 FM on the dial here in New Providence. And we are also being aired in Grand Bahama. And I want to welcome all of you to the show. So today we're talking all about the liver, how to identify, prevent, and reverse liver disease. And make sure that you are not heading down the road towards liver disease, because many people are unknowingly. Because as we've discussed earlier in the show, often there's no symptom that you are developing a problem until, lo and behold, you wake up one day and your doctor says, you're in big trouble. You've got fatty liver. You're like, wait, what? Where did that come from? Well, you've been working on it for years, most likely. Just that your body didn't let you know. And so the wise thing is that you do what you need to do to ensure that you're not going down that road, even though you may feel okay or not have any recognizable symptoms. You still want to be preventative to make sure that you are, in fact, taking good care of your liver. Because as we discussed earlier in the show, your liver is an extremely important organ. 500 functions. You don't want to be messing around with your liver. Okay. So, also something that you can do if you find yourself in a position where you did wake up one day and learn that you are, in fact, in a bit of trouble with the liver, there are some things that you can do to reverse the condition, including fasting. There's something called TUDCA, and detoxification. And in this clip, Dr. Berg is going to address all three of those methods and tell you how they can impact your liver.
All right, number two, which is actually part of one, but it's specifically fasting, okay? Fasting helps with autophagy, but it does other things for your liver that I want to discuss. Number one, it actually significantly lowers inflammation. If you can get rid of the inflammation, you could definitely stop this whole process from getting worse. Fasting also significantly increases your antioxidant networks without actually taking antioxidants. And the other cool thing that fasting will do, it will decrease liver enzymes. Now let's talk about number three. TUDCA. TUDCA. What is TUDCA? TUDCA is a type of bile salt. It's also been used in Chinese medicine for over 3,000 years, so it's been around for a very long time. But if you actually do research on TUDCA in relationship to liver function, you'll be blown away. First of all, it helps thin the bile, because one of the underlying causes of a liver problem is there's some type of blockage within the bile ducts, and the bile can actually act as a detergent and irritate and even scar the liver. TUDCA also directly decreases fibrosis. TUDCA directly rehabs the hepatocyte, the liver cell. TUDCA also protects the liver cell against certain things like oxidation. And when you take TUDCA, I'm not going to get into necessarily brands, but you want to take 2 on an empty stomach in the morning and 2 in the afternoon on an empty stomach. Because if you take it with food, it tends to act on the food as a bile salt and not on your liver. What's the next thing? Well, you want to induce or trigger phase 1, phase 2 detoxification. This phenomena or enzyme process occurs in your liver where you're turning poisons into harmless particles, okay? So it's converting these fat-soluble chemicals into harmless water-soluble chemicals that get released through the bile ducts in other ways. And so when the liver gets damaged, you don't have this process working at full throttle, and that can back things up, especially poisons, since the liver is constantly breaking down poisons and protecting you, like in sulfur-rich vegetables, like in cruciferous, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, arugula, radish, things like that. Green tea is another trigger for phase 1, phase 2 detoxification. And straight sulforaphane, which is the phytonutrient in broccoli sprouts. So if you add broccoli sprouts to your salad, you can greatly help your liver.
Good information to have. Now, you also need to be aware that there are other risk factors of you damaging your liver that we haven't discussed as yet. Yeah, we've already gone over some important ones, but here are some other things that you need to be aware of. Apart from things like excessive alcohol use, etc., there are some other risk factors that could make you susceptible to liver disease. And here's an important one. Anyone who has received a blood transfusion prior to 1992, because prior to 1992, they were not so rigorous in terms of checking the how healthy that particular blood may have been, particularly as it relates to hepatitis C. Okay, so it's important that if you had a blood transfusion prior to 1992, that you be sure get screened, because nearly 50% of patients do not know that they are infected with hepatitis C. Current or former illicit drug use. If you are a heavy drug user, good chance you are at risk. Patients on hemodialysis, patients with HIV, healthcare workers who have been stuck by needles with hepatitis C infected blood, and anyone with a history of tattoos that they received in an unregulated setting. If you decide to go someplace that wasn't the best in terms of hygiene, and go, get inked there, you could have exposed yourself to hepatitis C, which could lead to liver disease. So those are some of the risk factors that you need to consider. Now, getting back to if you have, in fact, been diagnosed with some kind of liver disease, there are some things that you can do, as we've been discussing. And a really good natural remedy is milk thistle, and there is also tocotrienols. And Dr. Berg is going to discuss both of them in this following clip.
And the next one on the list is milk thistle. So as you can see, we're really hitting this problem over the head with a sledgehammer, because these are all the most potent things to help your liver. Okay, milk thistle is a very interesting herb. It's this weed that you can consume the seeds. In fact, a lot of people, you have it in their backyard. So you can grab some and grind the seeds and put it on your salad. And it protects the liver against poisons, even poisonous snakes, even poisonous mushrooms. In fact, if you're also on medication on a regular basis, or you know someone who's on medication, have them start taking milk thistle just to reduce some of the side effects. But it basically gives you properties to protect the liver. It also prevents fibrosis. It decreases inflammation. It helps neutralize toxins. It helps decrease liver enzymes, and it regenerates hepatocytes, liver cells. So as you can see, it does a lot. It can also help protect the liver against medication, too much caffeine, alcohol, Tylenol, lots of medications. And the last thing is tocotrienols. Now, what is tocotrienols? It's a type of vitamin E. Anytime you have scar tissue or fibrosis, vitamin E, especially tocotrienols, is a great thing to help break up scar tissue. So that's why I included it on the list. Also, it's a very powerful antioxidant to protect against free radical damage, inflammation, and the things that lead to fibrosis. So the two things that tocotrienols will do is decrease inflammation and decrease the risk of fibrosis. And if you're going to get tocotrienol, I would make sure you get it as a standalone complex, not added with the tocopherols, because they tend to compete. High iron in your blood can create inflammation and cirrhosis. You also have a situation where you have blockage in your bile ducts, which can back up into the liver and create a lot of liver problems, including gallstones and many other issues, as well as your own immune system, where you have liver antibodies that are attacking your own liver.
All right. So all really, really good tips. If you are, in fact, given the prognosis of having a fatty liver. Now, if you have gone beyond that, the next step is cirrhosis. Cirrhosis is really bad news, people. Really bad news. You don't want liver disease, period. But you don't want to get to the point where you have developed cirrhosis of the liver, because now you're entering territory that is really not a good place to be. I'm just trying to put it in a very nice way. So you want to make sure that you're not heading down that road. If, unfortunately, you are already there, the earlier that you get that detected, the better. Okay? So this is why you need to pay close attention to this. And I know a lot of people are like, I don't get all that, Michelle, and you're talking to yourself. But early detection when it comes to cirrhosis of the liver is key to how well you will be able to overcome that. The longer that goes on, the harder it's going to be to recover, if at all. Okay, so here now is Dr. Berg once again to talk about the importance of early detection when it comes to cirrhosis of the liver.
So today we're going to talk about early detection of silent liver cirrhosis. Now, here's the problem with cirrhosis, which is basically scar tissue of the liver. There is really no symptoms initially for decades until the later stages. So you don't really always know that you have cirrhosis. However, there is one symptom that most people do experience, and that would be feeling sluggish and tired. But that could be coming from a lot of different things, so you might not recognize it. So the two categories of cirrhosis are compensated cirrhosis, where the body's compensating, so really there's no symptoms in this phase. And then over time, you develop what's called decompensated cirrhosis, where you start experiencing all these other symptoms. So these are some of the symptoms that you experience when you have cirrhosis. One is spider angioma, which is something on your skin. You have this little red dot with these little red, like spider webs coming out from it. Xanthomas, which are little cholesterol spots. Sometimes you see them around the eyelids. They're yellow because the liver is not functioning correctly. Jaundice, where your whites of your eyes become yellow and also your skin starts to become yellow. That's liver damage. Thinner skin, because you can't make collagen anymore, so you get this paper-like skin on the back of your hand, and you can see it pretty much all over. And then you have something called ascites, which is a fluid-filled sac around your midsection. It might look like it's a fat gut, but it's really fluid that's leaking out from the liver, creating like a pot belly. Next one, gynecomastia, which is basically breast tissue. Club fingernails, okay? So they're like a little square, little clubbed shape. Edema in the lower leg. You see this very, very often with liver damage, and you press your finger in the lower calf or the lower part of the leg and you leave a little dent. Okay, that's edema, it's swelling. Red palms, confusion, bruising, itchy skin, itchy feet, cognitive issues. So your focus, your memory, your concentration just isn't there.
Okay, so those are some of the symptoms of cirrhosis. At the core of this, we go right back again to insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is at the core of cirrhosis of the liver. So obviously we need to make sure that if we are dealing with insulin resistance, that we address that, because again, it affects so many different systems of the body, including your liver. Remember now, your liver works very hard to protect your health. And so while it's a rugged, strong organ, it is susceptible to damage. We've talked about it all show long. Alcohol, drugs, viruses, excessive weight, all of this can damage that liver. So we want to make sure that our liver remains as healthy as possible. And if your liver is being impacted by insulin resistance, then that's a simple and easy thing to address. It's not like you say, well, this particular condition runs in my family. Oftentimes, it's just bad habits and a messed up culture that runs in your family that leads to this chronic insulin resistance. But there are some things that you can do to change that. Okay? You're not stuck. It's not beyond your control. There are some things that you can do to address insulin resistance, because that, you need to understand, is at the core of cirrhosis of the liver. Okay? So if you address the insulin resistance, then by extension, you'll be able to, have a fighting chance if you do develop cirrhosis of the liver.
So if you do research on cirrhosis, you see that people get a list for a liver transplant, They're put on maybe some supportive medication for other diseases, but they don't really tell you what to do to prevent it, or they don't give you advice to what to do naturally. But there's a lot of confusion on this, okay, that I want to sort out right now, because they'll say that cirrhosis is associated with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is associated with diabetes and metabolic syndrome and obesity. And so you just need to lose weight and manage your diabetes symptoms. But they don't really sort out cause and effect and what comes first, second, and third. Well, I'm just going to explain right now very simply. It all starts with something called insulin resistance, okay? And that's created from alcohol, or if you're doing a non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, it could be created from junk food, a high carbohydrate diet, sugar, frequent eating, drugs, legally or illegally, or even a virus could actually trigger insulin resistance, okay? When you have insulin resistance, you also have high levels of insulin, okay? Then you're going to get inflammation. So this condition creates a lot of inflammation. The inflammation will also make the insulin resistance worse. Then comes the fatty liver. So then after fatty liver, you get scar tissue that replaces the normal liver cell, and that's called cirrhosis. So you get the scar tissue. So you have a combination of fatty liver, an inflamed liver, that then becomes filled with scar tissue, and you lose function. So in summary, insulin resistance causes the liver to be fatty, okay? Insulin resistance is basically what causes diabetes, okay? In diabetes, you're always going to see insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes I'm talking about. That's the trigger of it, because it goes from insulin resistance creates high insulin over a long period of time. Then what happens, you get a burnout effect where the pancreas can't keep up, and then the blood sugar starts going high. That's called prediabetes, and then it goes higher, and then it's a full-blown diabetes type 2. Metabolic syndrome is basically high cholesterol, blood sugar problems, belly fat, all symptoms coming from insulin resistance. They kind of put it in this syndrome like it's like a disease by itself, when in fact it's just a bunch of symptoms that are caused by this right here, okay? Obesity is caused by insulin resistance, high levels of insulin. And then cirrhosis is also caused by insulin resistance. So this is really at the core of this right here.
All right. So hopefully you're getting something out of this, because if you know of anybody who is dealing with liver problems, I would really like to encourage you to like and share the show with them, or, direct them to where they can find the show, so that they can get some information that can hopefully help them to reverse their condition. The good thing about the liver is that even if you have to remove a large chunk of it, the liver does have the capability to regrow itself. So it's an amazing thing, the way the liver can regenerate. But you want to make sure that you are not so far gone that you would have a problem doing that your body would have a problem doing that. So I always believe that prevention is better than cure. Like, why subject yourself to that kind of torture to have to go through what you're going to have to go through to heal the organ, when you could just not do the damage to it to begin with? And I often say, especially when you're talking about not giving up certain foods or certain drinks because you enjoy it, my question is always, is it worth what you're going to possibly face on the other side of that enjoyment? So if you are being told by your doctor that, you spending weekends every weekend with the boys drinking, and now you in your 30s and you have a fatty liver, yeah, you may enjoy hanging out with your boys, but I hate to put it this way, but if you were to succumb to that, your boys can come to your funeral and maybe drink a drink over your grave, and then they can keep going. Meanwhile, your family is left behind. Is it worth it? Is that drink worth it? It's not. So in the same way I tell people, my clients, when they don't want to give up things like gluten, they don't want to give up the bread, they don't want to give this up. And I say, boy, that must be something that's not good tasting bread. Because nothing is worth what you're going to put your body through if you don't stop consuming that. So if you're to the point where you're being warned about a fatty liver because you think it's fun to go hang out with the boys every weekend, you may want to reevaluate your priorities. It's not worth it, people. And I know, when you're younger, you tend to think that you're invincible and, oh, that won't happen to me. That'll happen to them, but not to me. You're not invincible. You damage your body enough and your body will make you pay for it. It's as simple as that. The good thing is, if you treat your body well enough, your body will also reward you for that. So understand that this is the only one you get on this side of eternity. This is the only body you get. And however you treat it, good or bad, this is the one you live in until you die. So, you may say, oh, I live for the day and I'm enjoying my life now. Well, that's good and well, but suppose you end up living a little longer than you anticipated. And now you got this broken down body that is going to make you pay for all the damage that you did to it. So it's just cheaper to be, on the side of prevention. Prevention is better than cure. Okay? We are going to learn more about certain foods that you could eat or should eat that can also help you when it comes to healing your liver or protecting your liver from damage. The right supplements are important, yes. But there are certain foods that you can eat that can greatly enhance your ability to improve the health of your liver. So let's take this quick break. And on the other side of the break, we're going to learn more about what those foods are. Okay? So stay with us. This is GPS on a Wellness Wednesday. Our focus today is a healthy liver. And we will have more on that on the other side of this break.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the Mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy with Mailboat US addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here on this Wellness Wednesday. The numbers to call, 3260271, 3260271, 3260272. 3260272. The WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271. 801-0271. We are also on Cable Bahamas Channel 974, streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and the Global 99.5 FM pages. You can also check us out on our YouTube channels and on the Global 99.5 FM app. Listen to us by way of Cable Bahamas Channel 974 and, of course, by radio, 99.5 FM on the dial here in New Providence. And we're also airing on radio in Grand Bahama. A huge welcome to you from that island as well. So we're talking about liver health today. And there are some foods that can actually help to protect you and protect your liver. And so we have to talk about that, obviously. So surprise, surprise, one of the things that you can consume that is believed to be healthy for your liver is coffee. Yes, coffee. One 2014 review suggests that coffee is good for the liver, especially because it protects against issues such as fatty liver disease. Now, you don't want to overdo it, okay? But the review notes that daily coffee intake may help to reduce the risk of chronic liver disease and may protect the liver from damaging conditions such as liver cancer. The 2014 study suggests that the protective effects of coffee may be due to how it influences liver enzymes. So coffee, it reports, seems to reduce fat buildup in the liver and increases protective antioxidants in the liver. The compounds in coffee also help liver enzymes rid the body of cancer-causing substances. So if you are a coffee drinker, that's some good news as it relates to how coffee can help to keep your liver healthy. Green tea is also another good beverage. One 2016 review suggests that green tea may help reduce the risk of liver cancer in female Asian populations. However, the study notes that more research is necessary. But it's important to note that drinking green tea may be better for health than taking a green tea extract, as high dose extracts can cause liver damage rather than heal it. So you want to be very, very careful with that. Another great source of a food that you can eat that is good for the liver is dark berries, including blueberries, raspberries, and cranberries. And they contain antioxidants called polyphenols, which may help to protect the liver from damage. So dark berries is good. A 2013 study in rats suggests that blueberry juice supplements could increase antioxidant capability in the liver. And the study also suggests that blueberry juice could help alleviate liver fibrosis. But, you know, the fresh blueberry, you can't beat that. Grapes is another good food for liver health. One 2014 study suggests that grape seeds, as well as the skin and pulp, contain a significant amount of antioxidants, and these antioxidants seem to be associated with protection from some causes of liver damage. So eating whole seeded grapes, preferably organic, is a simple way to add these compounds to the diet, and a grape seed extract supplements may also provide antioxidants. Grapefruit is another good source, another good food source to protect against liver disease. Grapefruit contains two primary antioxidants, naringin and naringenin. I hope I pronounced those right. And these may help to protect the liver from injury by reducing inflammation and protecting the liver cells. A 2019 study suggests that naringin may protect against alcohol-induced liver problems by reducing oxidative stress. However, several medications that are metabolized by the liver can interact with grapefruit, so you want to be very, very careful if you are on some kind of medication for the liver. Prickly pear, the fruit and juice of the prickly pear may also be beneficial to liver health. According to a 2014 study in rats with obesity, it suggested that compounds in the fruit may be beneficial in the treatment of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. However, human studies are necessary to confirm this, but most research focuses on extracts from the fruit, and so studies that focus on the fruit or juice itself may also be necessary. So the plant foods in general that are pretty good for the liver, according to a study in 2015, include avocados, bananas, broccoli, brown rice, figs, carrots. You've already heard about cruciferous vegetables like kale and collard greens, lemons, papayas, and watermelons. Another good source for the healthy liver, is consuming fatty fish like salmon, wild-caught salmon, for instance. Consuming fatty fish and fish oil supplements may help to reduce the impact of conditions such as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Fatty fish is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are the good fat that help to reduce inflammation, and these fats may be necessary or especially helpful in the liver, as they appear to prevent the buildup of excess fats and maintain enzyme levels in the liver. Nuts is another good food. Eating nuts may be Another simple way to keep the liver healthy and protect against non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Nuts generally contain unsaturated fatty acids, vitamin E, and antioxidants, and these compounds may help to prevent non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. All right, so here are some more foods, according to Dr. Berg, that are good for you, including cruciferous vegetables. So let's learn a little bit more of those.
Number one, cruciferous vegetables. Okay. Talking about kale, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, radish, arugula, wasabi, mustard greens. They are all cruciferous vegetables. They are very high in a natural phytonutrient called sulforaphane. And sulforaphane helps to detoxify the liver. It helps the liver to get rid of inflammation. And inflammation leads to insulin resistance. It leads to high insulin. It leads to diabetes, and it can even lead to cancer. So sulforaphane is a really important liver protective compound, and it can also help if there's fat in the liver. And with enough sulforaphane, let's say, for example, if you drank too much coffee, sulforaphane helps to quickly detoxify things like caffeine, drugs, chemicals, and even poisons. Eating cruciferous vegetables with sulforaphane can even enhance the liver to the point of having an enhanced function of the liver even 2 weeks after where you stopped eating cruciferous vegetables. So some of the effects from eating cruciferous vegetables extend into the future, even if you don't eat them. That's pretty cool. Now, if you consume cruciferous sprouts, okay, you get a major enhancement in sulforaphane, especially when we're talking about broccoli sprouts, radish sprouts, and even mustard seed sprouts. So sprouting is a very, very smart thing to do because all you need is just a little bit of those sprouts on your salad to create a huge effect. You see, one of the key enzymes to activate sulforaphane is destroyed with heat. So if you overcook broccoli or especially cauliflower, you're not going to be able to get this full magnitude of sulforaphane unless you at the same time add a little sprouts to your salad or a little bit of raw cruciferous, or if you added a little bit of mustard to your meal, because mustard has a lot of that enzyme, because it's a cruciferous, that will help activate sulforaphane in the food that is cooked. So this is just another reason why when you have a salad, you want to add different things to it, like sprouts. And there's many other phytonutrients in cruciferous vegetables that support the liver function, which also have a lot to do with decreasing complications from diabetes and free radical damage, and improving sensitivity to insulin and improving insulin resistance and just supporting your blood sugars. Personally, I consume a lot of arugula in my salads. So that is just loaded with those enzymes to activate sulforaphane. I also do a lot of raw cabbage, like coleslaw, for example, and sauerkraut, which is just loaded with the enzymes to activate sulforaphane. So out of all the things you can eat, cruciferous is at the top of the list.
Now remember now, if you have an underactive thyroid, you want to be careful with the cruciferous vegetables, okay? Because it does tend to slow down thyroid function as well. Next on the list of foods that you can consume that can help with liver health, garlic and turmeric. We've been hearing a lot about both of them for other health concerns, but they're both very good for your liver as well.
Now, the number 2 item is garlic. Now, garlic is something that is loaded with sulfur, and sulfur is a wonderful thing to detoxify the liver and also act as a natural antibiotic. So it's very, very antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral. And garlic is really good for stripping off fat from your liver. And garlic also has a lot of vitamin B1 as well. I mean, garlic is just one of those superfoods. It's anti-inflammatory. It's a very powerful antioxidant, and it has huge anti-cancer properties. All right, the next one for the liver is turmeric, okay? Now, the active phytonutrient in turmeric is curcumin. Curcumin is just a powerhouse in reducing inflammation. There was someone recently who had lifelong headaches, okay? And they had to take copious amounts of Tylenol for years and years and years, and their liver has been going downhill. And so one of the key things that she did is started taking turmeric on a daily basis. And so not only did her headaches go away, but now going in the future, not having to take Tylenol, her liver is going to do much, much better. Now, one thing I want to say about the liver is that the liver is rugged, it's tough, it can bounce back unless it's completely destroyed. It only needs a little bit of itself to function. And a lot of people have destroyed a good portion of their livers, and they're able to exist and survive, which is quite amazing. But out of all the organs, the liver is the most robust. It can take a beating and it can bounce back. Now, turmeric can also detoxify heavy metals like lead, mercury, cadmium, and even arsenic. Turmeric helps to repair and regenerate liver function. Turmeric helps stabilize the mitochondria, which is why it's very anti-cancer, because the origin of cancer happens with damaged mitochondria. Turmeric is very heavily studied, especially in its ability to decrease fat on your liver. So if you combine a ketogenic diet, low carb, with intermittent fasting and turmeric and some of these other compounds, you are going to be in really good shape as far as having a healthy liver.
Don't forget now, this is all very, very good, but don't forget that you will need those 90 nutrients, okay? To support all of the macronutrients that we're talking about now. The macronutrients being the whole foods that we're talking about, the cruciferous vegetables, the garlic, the turmeric. The macronutrients are what's the word I'm looking for? Like energized once you add the micronutrients to that. The micronutrients help the macronutrients to perform even better. Okay, so also very good in terms of what foods you can consume. And we're talking organic here, people, okay? Organic. Beets, mushrooms, and avocados. We talked about that earlier. Here's some more information on that.
Now, the next one on the list is beets. Beets have always been known to help detox the liver. They can help reduce liver enzymes. If the liver enzymes are high, they can help reduce them. The phytonutrients in the pigments in beets can help activate the release of bile salts, and that can help decrease the fat in your liver. But beets are hepatoprotective, which means they protect the liver cells and they can significantly reduce inflammation in the liver. And if they can reduce inflammation in the liver, they can slow down the process of fibrosis and scar tissue and cirrhosis. Now, a question that people might have is, what about beets and being keto friendly? Is it going to spike my blood sugars? Well, if you don't juice beets and you have them steamed, there is some carbohydrates in there, but if you add the fiber in there, that will buffer the insulin response. And so in a half a cup of beets, you're looking at about only 6.7 grams of carbs, not terribly high. Now, the next food I want to talk about is mushrooms. Now, what's so important about mushrooms with the liver? Well, mushrooms are the food that has some of the highest amount of glutathione. And glutathione is the main antioxidant for the liver, especially if you do turkey tail mushroom and oyster mushrooms and other mushrooms as well. Mushrooms are hepatoprotective. It means they protect the cells of the liver. All right, now we get to avocados. Avocados are a great thing to consume to help repair and stabilize the liver. Avocados, too, are high in glutathione that support the liver. But the main thing about avocados is all you have to do is consume one avocado a week to see significant improvements in your liver function. Avocados are very, very anti-inflammatory, and inflammation in the liver leads to so many issues, including hepatitis, including fatty liver, as well as cirrhosis. So anything that can lower inflammation would be very good for the liver.
All right, all these avocados we have around here, let's go to town during avocado season. And avocado, by the way, provides a very healthy source of fat. So I hear people say, oh, avocados are so fatty. That's a healthy fat that your body actually benefits from. We're going to take our final break of the show, and then we're going to talk about foods to avoid if you want to maintain a healthy liver. Don't go away. Wellness Wednesday GPS will be back right after these words from our sponsors.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Blood sugar levels play a key role in your appetite, weight gain, and overall health. When you have a blood sugar spike, you can feel confused, dizzy, and even have increased cravings. Eating carbohydrates, sugary or fatty foods, and not exercising can all cause blood sugar spikes. But now you have help in managing blood sugar levels. Sweeties by Youngevity was designed to help support healthy blood sugar levels so you can power through your day. It's a synergistic blend of minerals, herbs, and nutrients that have been proven to support healthy blood sugar levels. Sweeties includes chromium, an essential trace mineral that's known for its contribution to healthy blood sugar levels and improved metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Cinnamon bark has been included for its naturally occurring antioxidants and support of a healthy heart. And we've even added gymnema. It's been used in Ayurveda for centuries to help promote healthy blood sugar. All the ingredients in Sweeties work together to give the best support available for blood sugar control. Sweeties, the blood sugar support supplement from Youngevity that helps control cravings and manage blood sugar levels through your day. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Even everyday exercise can lead to wear and tear on your body. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
$99.5.
All right, so we've talked about foods that are good for you. We've talked about nutrients that are good for your liver. We've talked about, things that can lead to liver disease. But there are some foods that you also need to be aware of that are very, very hard for your liver to process. And so if you want to maintain a healthy liver, or if you already headed down the road of liver damage and you want to make it easier for your liver to heal, you want to pay attention to this next list, because these foods are very hard for the liver to process. And that includes unhealthy fatty foods, not healthy fats like avocados, but unhealthy fats like fried foods. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but fried foods, fast food meals, takeout from many restaurants, packaged snacks. These are all surprisingly high, some of them in fats, the bad fats. So make sure you're reading labels, especially if you're looking at packaged snacks, because you would be surprised how that one little treat that you're eating, if you read the label and see how much fat that thing contains, It's like, what? You'd be shocked. And what you need to realize is, depending on the size of the packaging, like it'll say you get this amount of fat per serving, but some of those packages have 3 and 4 servings. But when you sit down, you eat the whole bag. So you really have to be very, very careful of that. The next thing you need to be careful of is starchy foods. Starchy foods are very, very difficult for the liver to break down, and these include low fiber, highly processed breads, pastas, cakes, baked goods, etc. You already know that I am a proponent of going gluten-free, but this is just another good reason for you to be very wary of those starchy, low fiber, highly processed foods, because it's very difficult for your liver to deal with them. Sugar, processed sugar, cutting back on sugar and sugary foods such as cereals and baked goods and candy, and sugary drinks, soda, many of the juices that are nothing, especially if it says from concentrate, that's really nothing more than sugar and water. So you want to cut back on the amount of sugar that you're consuming. And another tip, if it says gluten-free, read the label, because oftentimes what they do with certain gluten-free foods is they load them up with sugar to make it taste better. So you're not getting the gluten, but you're loading up with sugar. So be very, very careful. Make sure you read the labels. Alcohol, can't stress this enough. Can't stress it enough. Anyone who is looking to give their liver a break may wish to consider reducing their intake of alcohol or eliminating it completely from the diet. And I know many of you look at me now with a side eye, like I just cursed you. But the truth be told, if you already have challenges with your liver, alcohol is the last thing you need to be consuming, because you only making it difficult for your liver to heal. Okay? So cut back on the amount of liver. And remember that liver turns into sugar in the body. So sugar is already a problem. And then you drink it on top of that. Not very smart, people. Not very smart. Remember that the liver plays a very important role in the body. And while it primarily takes care of itself, you can maintain a healthy liver by consuming foods that are good for it and good quality supplements. Okay? But there are foods that could be bad for the liver, and you want to be aware of those. You want to be sure that you're not doing more harm to your body than good, and so you want to avoid those. Choosing foods that are good for the liver can help a person to avoid potential health issues in the future. Your liver is an extremely important organ, extremely important. 500 different functions the liver performs in the body. So if you are damaging your liver, you're making it hard for your body to perform those 500 different functions. That's not a good idea. Okay? So, so somebody is sending me a message about the thyroid. I will message you apart from what we're talking about today, because today's show is all about the liver, and I have actually done an entire show about the thyroid. So I will go ahead and send you that link as well as some other information. Okay, for the person asking about the thyroid. So that's today's show. I hope you got something good out of this. And if you know somebody who is battling with some kind of liver disease, all hope is not lost. But you have to be an active participant in your health. And that includes your liver. Do what you got to do, people. Stop eating the harmful foods. Stop drinking so much. Stop smoking all that tobacco. Take care of your body, and your body will take care of you. It's that simple. It's that simple. Don't take care of your body, and your body ain't going to take care of you. But understand that your liver is too important for you to be playing around with. So do what you got to do. And let's get you healthy again. That's going to do it for today's show. I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tomorrow, we're going to start to review the budget. The various things that have been coming out in the budget debate. We're going to start to look at those tomorrow. So be sure to tune in and let's start to dissect the budget that's being presented by the Davis administration. Until then, thanks so much for tuning in. Enjoy your afternoon, everybody.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not